Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, happy Friday. Today, things are looking much better for many reasons. So, let me talk about what they are. And also, let's talk about why a major Bitcoin supply shock is incoming. And why, of course, that's a great thing. That's a really great thing. So, let's talk about all these things and more. And since it's Friday, let's have a good Q&A. All right, let's do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're starting out a day much better than yesterday. I would like to see more movement, but, it's a start. We're at 61.5. Let's see where the day brings us. I think today could be pretty good, and let me explain why. First of all, you could see the U.S. market is starting out really in the green. We have two really good news. Number one, you can see right here, jobs report came out spectacular. Really good. Way better than before. So you can see 254,000 jobs in September, and up from a revised 159,000 in August, and better than 150,000 Dow Jones consensus. So we beat it by over $100,000. I mean, 100,000 jobs. How does Dow Jones? How are they so off? I don't get it. So Dow Jones thought that September was going to have September generate less jobs than August, and somehow we generated over 100,000 more. I don't know. That seems kind of fishy, but it's good. It's good. We'll take it. Unemployment fell down to 4.1% from 4.2%, so that's good. So we got some spectacular numbers today. That is awesome. That is awesome indeed. Now, besides that, what else is awesome? Well, the port strike may be over permanently, because yesterday it was reported that they're just delaying it until January. But now it seems like they may have come to agreement already that there will be a 62% pay raise over the next 6 years. And that is that. That may have been the shortest strike ever. And that's a good thing, because I saw a figure that this strike was going to cost America $4.5 billion per day or something like that. So I don't know how long it went on, maybe like for just 2 days or something, or maybe just a day. So it's good. So all those people that have rushed to Costco and bought like millions and millions of rolls of toilet paper, they're probably regretting that. They probably are right now. But yeah, this is fantastic too. So now we don't have to worry about higher prices of goods. We don't have to worry about inflation going up. Jobs report is coming in very strong. So all is good so far. The only thing that's not good is the Middle East. Israel did launch some intense attacks, and then Iran says they're going to attack back. So obviously the Middle East is still ongoing, and this will disrupt things, flights, and then oil is still going up because of it. But outside of this, we've seen conflict in the Middle East before, and we've seen conflict in Europe, of course, is still ongoing. Markets seem to turn negative immediately whenever there's conflict, and then markets kind of just ignore it and then move forward, right? We saw this before, and we're kind of seeing it now, though we're not completely past it. Let's see what happens. But we got a couple of really good news today. So yeah, it's good. It's good all around. Good all around. Now, JP Morgan says all this geopolitical tension is good. Good for not only gold, but also Bitcoin. Yesterday, Standard Chartered said geopolitical tension is not good for Bitcoin. But, JP Morgan says no. this is actually really good for Bitcoin and elections too. JP Morgan is definitely backing one candidate over the other. And what is their reason? What is their reason? Because of debasement trade. So according to JP Morgan, a Trump win in particular, apart from being supportive of Bitcoin from a regulatory point of view, would likely reinforce the debasement trade, both via tariffs, geopolitical tensions, and via expansionary financial or fiscal policy debt debasement. If the Trump plays out in a similar way to 2016, there should be higher U.S. Treasury yields, a stronger dollar, U.S. stock market outperformance, in particular banks, and tighter spreads, JP Morgan said. The shift has not happened yet, with only a small move higher seen in these markets. So according to JP Morgan, obviously, based on what that guy said, they want one person to win in particular, and that person will make Bitcoin skyrocket. That's what he's saying. So we'll see. We will see. But we know outside of a new president, which definitely can make a big difference, there are others that can make a big difference too. Like this guy right here, Larry Fink, and his firm BlackRock, who just decided to make a big presentation to their investors about Bitcoin. I mean, just think about that. Just think about how BlackRock is now educating via PowerPoint about Bitcoin, and this is what they have, right? They're actually pinpointing all the weaknesses that Bitcoiners have been pointing out for years with the dollar, in this case, treasuries, gold, and Bitcoin. Looking at it, all right? You look at supply, treasuries, unlimited. Gold, still basically unlimited, right? Semi-fixed is still unlimited. Bitcoin, fixed. Governance, decentralized. Governance of gold, decentralized? That's wrong. I mean, gold clearly is not decentralized. Clearly governed by a few. And then, everything else, right? And then clearly look at the market cap. 25 trillion, 14 trillion, 1.3 trillion. Very, very undervalued. And look at the left side, purchasing power. This is what everyone's been saying, including Saylor, how you're being robbed. The silent tax called inflation is robbing you. And how it's robbing you is your purchasing power. Your ability to buy something with your dollar has decreased tremendously throughout inception, basically. Since 1913, when the Federal Reserve was established, till now, your purchasing power had basically been going to zero. That's ultimately what it's showing. It's just going closer and closer to zero. That's why you need to buy and hold hard assets like Bitcoin. But anyways, you guys know this. I've been saying a lot of this for a long time. But, just think about it for a second, that BlackRock is now saying the same thing Bitcoiners have been saying to all of their investors now, right? And the purpose of this is to try to get them all to buy their IBIT Bitcoin ETF. It's just how times have changed. How times have really, really changed. So, yeah, BlackRock, even though no one likes BlackRock, no one likes to see Larry Fink take control of Bitcoin, but in the meantime, they are definitely making big strides, accumulating, and bring a ton of attention to Bitcoin and the entire crypto industry. Let's not forget, they have an Ethereum ETF too that I don't talk a lot about, but they have that already. Who knows? They may have a Solana ETF soon too. Now, outside of BlackRock CME Group, the world's largest derivative exchange, they are about to launch their own physical Bitcoin product, probably ETF as well. They've been talking about hinting it for a while now too. So everyone wants a piece of Bitcoin, a piece of the action. No one wants to be left out. So just imagine the FOMO. Like we're in Uptober, okay? This is a month when historically we go up by 20 to 30%. So once the FOMO starts hitting, and it could be as soon as this month, and then carries into next month, and then the Santa rally into December, imagine once Bitcoin breaks above $100,000, what the FOMO is going to be like with all these products available. The institutions with their billions and trillions of dollars, they will be buying up everything. This is what I'm talking about, the supply shock. You know, retail, yeah, if you if you add 8 billion people across the planet, yeah, that's a lot of money. But these institutions, they have it all. If they start FOMOing, I mean, the price is going to start moving in a big way because there's just not enough Bitcoin to go around. People still don't understand that. There's so little amount of Bitcoin out there. There's not enough to go around. And once these big boys really all start jumping in, it's going to be too late. Here's something interesting. The IMF is still trying to control El Salvador. So this came out of some press conference where they said that they're going to still try to work with El Salvador and give them some more money. And even, I don't know why, they could just hide it. Like, they don't need to specifically say it, but like I listened to it and she specifically says she wants to like limit them from Bitcoin. Like, why do you even need to say that? Like, there's no need to say it. It just makes them seem desperate, right? But that's what they did. That's what they did. But, you know, since El Salvador adopted Bitcoin, their GDP has gone up 10%. Their murder rate has gone down by 95%. I don't know how that relates to Bitcoin. But tourism has gone up by 95% in 2023 alone. That's crazy. That's crazy. Again, I don't know how the murder rate gone down by 95%. But yeah. And then, you know what? El Salvador does not care about the IMF. They're worried about their volcano bonds, their Bitcoin city, and how they're going to embrace Bitcoin more. They are leading the way in terms of a country, kind of like Michael Saylor is in terms of a publicly traded company, right? They are showing the way, and Argentina is paying attention, and I'm sure many other Latin American countries are paying attention as well. Awesome. Awesome stuff. What else is awesome? A lot of big stablecoin transfers into Coinbase. Here's a $50 million one. Here's a $51 million one. These are all going to Coinbase. These are USDC. And why are they going to Coinbase? To buy, and buy some more. Here's a giant bullish pennant, bullish flag that I'm waiting for us to break out of. And once it does, it's going to be glorious. And you know that supply shock I keep talking about, the FOMO factor and everyone, jumping in. Here's something else that's very important, very, very, very important to recognize. This is going to be the only cycle in Bitcoin's history. No, the first. It's not going to be the only. This will be the first cycle in Bitcoin's history where the supply and exchanges are actually going down. Okay? Think about that for a second. Every single cycle we had before, prior to this one, the supply of Bitcoin on exchanges actually went upwards. Even the 2021 one. Okay? This one will be the only one so far, and the first of many, where the supply is actually going down. So, you know, like 20 years from now or 30 years from now, when Bitcoin is at like $10 million, and, you know, you have to tell your kids or your grandkids or your great grandkids, like, hey, you know, the turning point for Bitcoin was when the supply shock really started happening, when the exchange reserves really started dropping. This is the year. 2024 is when it started. Well, 2023 is started, but 2024 is the halving year where it really started going down, right? So it's actually quite different than all previous cycles. It's very, very different from previous cycles. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, last two things I'll show you guys. Uptober. A lot of people think Uptober is done, is canceled. It's not done. Nowhere near done. We're just beginning. It happened in 2023 too. Look at that. The first week of October. I pointed this out yesterday, but I'm glad Rover made a graph out of this. You know, I pointed this yesterday. Last year, before Bitcoin broke out from the low 20s into the 30s and it just kept going to the 70s, the first week it dumped like 8%. It did exactly the same thing. For no reason, Uptober was here, and then it just dumped. And then what happened after the first week? It recovered, and it just kept going and going and going. We're 4 days in. After this weekend, we're about a week in, right? So things can change really, really quickly, really fast when it comes to crypto. So that's why you do not want to give up. Just continue to do what you're doing. HODL and DCA. HODL and DCA. That's really it. And then lastly, here's something else that will help the supply shock is the global liquidity. We know like right now, China's going bonkers right now because of all the things the government have done to inject liquidity into the space. Their stock market is like rallying like none other. And the US is starting to do the same thing. And whenever you see that global liquidity get injected, right? What happens to everything else, like stocks and crypto? They follow, they go up. And it just seems to happen like every 4 years. Every single time, it just seems like every 4 years there needs to be like a liquidity event, right? And it's going to happen again. It's starting now, and it's going to carry into next year. And I think that's going to make a big difference too. All right. That's pretty much it. Let's see. The market is still holding quite strong. Let's see. NVIDIA carried the market yesterday. NVIDIA is still in green. Today, Coinbase and MicroStrategy playing catch up today, so that's good. And overall, Bitcoin is still strong. And some greens today. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let me scroll up here. Let me see if I missed anything. Scrolling. Don't see anything. Still talking about Cat going to the Knicks. Prime Vision. I have accumulated a decent bag of Ape coin. What coin should I swap it for and continue to accumulate, or should I swap it for bread? I cannot tell you what to do with your Ape coin. So you have to decide if you should hold it or swap it and what you should swap it for. I am not your financial advisor or your crypto financial advisor. You have to make that decision on your own. With that said, ApeCoin has been an absolute disappointment for me. You know, Yuga Labs and everything has just really collapsed for Yuga Labs ever since the collapse of NFTs. So they have made no, it's just constant down. Even in April, March of this year, they have not moved at all. And I don't know what happened to their metaverse. They hyped up their metaverse game and all these things, and it has gone nowhere. And yeah, I have no idea what they're doing. I still hold 2 of their other side NFTs that I paid 8 ETH for, and now they're worth less than 1 ETH each. Colton, 80K by the end of the month. It's possible. I think it's possible. Joseph. Okay, you just posted a whole lot of market cap stuff. There's no question there, so good. Alex is getting married today. Congratulations. Hopefully you guys have a lifetime of happiness and joy. HK. Hello, George. Regardless of my previous question about Simon's cat, can you clarify how it's possible BEP20 blockchain for cat token no longer shows the holders, only the transaction? Is it to hide something? Why would they do this? They can't hide that. This is probably the block explorer that you're using I don't know, they changed something. You can't change the number of holders. It's all on the blockchain. I don't know what Simon Cat is. Use a different block explorer to look at that meme coin. It's not possible to, the holders is based just on addresses. You can't hide the addresses on the blockchain. So that just sounds like whatever block explorer or something decided to like change their code or something like that, but not the project itself. They can't hide that even if they wanted to. And there's a guy that can't pronounce their names that keeps asking me to do TA and arc block. No, I'm not gonna be doing TA and arc block just because you're thinking of buying some today. Jalamas, I'm really surprised how bad Cosmos is doing given how big their ecosystem is. Do you think they can make a comeback? Jalamas, you've been watching me long enough, and you probably heard me say there's always a chance. In the bull market, there's always a chance for everything. Cosmos has a very, very inflationary nature. That's why they're able to give out like 13 or 14% staking rewards, because they inflate tremendously. And when there's not enough people buying it and holding it in a somewhat stale or downwards market, that's why they're not doing so well. What's the connection between crypto and IFC? I don't understand the whole Singapore thing. What do you even know about the IFC? The IFC is Influencer Fight Club. It's all crypto influencers and crypto projects that are fighting in a league called Karate Combat, okay, which is also a crypto project. So that's the connection. They're all crypto project leaders or crypto influencers battling it out because they either want to or they're representing their projects, and they're fighting in a league that is controlled and governed by the Karate token. So there's events held around the world during crypto conferences like Token 2049 in Singapore, the biggest crypto conference on the planet. That's why we had an event in Singapore. What are the chances Bitcoin no longer moves based off historical charts from past what? I'll just say very little lows. I will not be watching the new Joker movie. It looks horrible. The last one was horrible too. I don't know why everyone thought this last Joker movie was good. It was probably the worst Joker movie of all time. Um, yeah, I did not enjoy it at all. Chris says, I know your rule of thumb is not to leave crypto on exchanges. I have some of mine on Kraken because I don't want to get charged a ton of fees. Any thoughts? It's fine if you leave some on reputable exchanges like Kraken or Crypto.com, who I've partnered with recently, or Coinbase or Gemini. These are like big, well-known, established, and highly regulated exchanges in the US. So it's always advisable if you have a large amount to take them off and put it in your own wallets, right? But if you're going to leave some in there, it's relatively safe. Knock on wood. But I leave some on exchanges too. How do you think the DeFi sector will perform this bull run? I mean, DeFi is here to stay. It's the reason why a lot of alts are stronger this cycle versus previous cycles because of DeFi. So it's here to stay. It'll do fine. It'll do fine. Market is still good, getting a little bit weaker. Man, I was hoping today would be like a huge, huge rally day. Yeah, there seems to be like a Gladiator 2 coming out, and that just reinforces the point that I had the other day about Hollywood. They really are out of ideas. They just keep making prequels and sequels of the same or remakes of the same damn things that have worked in the past, and now they think it's gonna work again. It makes no sense that they're doing a Gladiator 2. Like, 0 cents. Harry, you're welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're staying strong. I'm glad I'm helping you stay in the game. I think they are coming out with the Happy Gilmore 2 movie too. I think they were kind of like hyping it up. That would be a big flop if they came out with that. Um, well, next week, because someone asked about they didn't get why IFC related to Singapore crypto. Well, next week, I'll be off to Permissionless, which is another big conference in the US in Salt Lake City. And we'll be hosting IFC 5. IFC 5. Unfortunately, we don't even have a card to show you guys yet, but two big names, David Hoffman of Bankless and Kane of many different projects, including Synthetic and his new one. I don't recall the name of his new project. They're a headlining fight, but many others are fighting. It'll be a really good, it's going to be one of our best cards ever. CL Jacob, I wouldn't mind a Back to the Future. I think they're all dead, right? At least the Doc is. I think he passed away. Yeah, I wouldn't mind a Back to the Future. If they made a good Back to the Future, you're right. I would go watch that. That would be a movie like a sequel, prequel. No, it'd be like it has to be a sequel. You know, anything with time travel, they could do whatever they want. You know, like yeah, I would watch a Back to the Future. Michael J. Fox is still around. Is Doc Christopher Lee is still alive? I thought he passed away. Or Christopher Lloyd. Okay, I take that back. I apologize. Well, then they should definitely remake it. I mean, not remake it. They should definitely come out with Back to the Future 5, or 4. I think third one was the one with the train, and that one was kind of sucky. But if they came out, they should do another one. And DeLorean should sponsor it because DeLorean is still around, right? They should make a new time machine with a new DeLorean car. See, there you go. That's like half the battle already. Use a new DeLorean and time travel. They should do one that goes into the future again. Because that was cool. And Back to the Future 2, when they show the future, what it was like. They need to do more of that. Because all these like future movies, now that we are in the future, we have surpassed some of those technologies. But we still don't have things like hoverboards or flying cars. But everything else we have surpassed. They could always they could always they can introduce like a new character that would play like Michael J. Fox's character's son because they showed he had two kids, right? So they could find someone that kind of looks like him and say it's his kid. And they could still have Doc in there. and they could still have Biff in there because he's still around. So then that would still make a pretty good film. HK, man, I really wish you don't send me these big $50 super chats about some holders of some meme coin. Like, yeah, I appreciate the large super chats, but these are questions that you should just like ask offline or ask on Twitter or ask somewhere else, rather than ask me to try to pull up the number of holders of some meme that no one has heard of before. What? All right. I feel bad because now you send me $100 and okay. Whatever this What is this? What is this project again? HK. Pac-Man. Thanks for your input on the Raptor. I ended up picking a 2020 802A Raptor over the weekend. That's awesome. Every day I still think about getting a Raptor. I just think, you know, they're not that cool anymore, but it's still cool. Like, I really just want to get it just for the sake of having it. Simon's Cat. Dex Screener. It's 193 million holders right here. I don't get why it's so complicated. Nothing is being hidden. 11% to a dead wallet, 11% to this wallet, 9, 6, 6, 5, 5, 3% in Pancake. Use Dex Screener. HK, does that answer your question? Like I said, you can't hide wallets. You can't hide holders. It's out on the chain forever. Max B is like, Simon's Cat isn't the cat I want to talk about. Rusty Bot, does the 2001 G-Wagon hold up in good value? More important, does the Instagram model still like it even though it's an old car? G-Wagons all kind of look the same, even the 2001 one, but that one looks really old. I mean, the front end and a lot of stuff looks old. So Instagram models that don't know much about cars, maybe if you were like driving one, don't think you're a baller from the outside, but once you get on the inside, you can't hide it. 2001 G-Wagon on the inside looks like a 2001 G-Wagon. It does not look like a modern G-Wagon. So, but with that said, that car is still very reliable. It could go anywhere. People still love it. People go off-roading with it. So, besides pleasing Instagram models, you'll probably still enjoy the car. All right. G55 is still a nice car. It is. It is. All G-Wagons are still nice, even the older ones. Like I said, the 2001 one, the interior is like very dated, but overall the car is still solid. They're built solid. It'll just last forever, and you can still go anywhere with it. With the older ones, since they're not as like pricey, you don't have to worry about little things like scratches and stuff. You just like, you know, maybe lift it up, put some big tires, treat it like a Jeep, go off-roading, have fun with it. The new ones are just like, they're too expensive. Why would you go off-roading with them? It's just kind of stupid. Crypto Moose. I'm glad you stayed strong. How do you take your coffee? Black. I just drink black coffee. Yeah, Max. I don't think I watched one game last year. I don't think I did. I think I'll probably watch more games, like Spurs games, just to see how Wemby does. But all I did last year was watch reruns or replays. That's it. All right, guys. So overall today is not bad. Not the greatest. Not bad either. So the strike is over. That is good. Unemployment went down. Jobs report came in better than expected. Way better than expected, which arguably is not that good. It would be better if it came in line with expectations. But outside of that, hey, BlackRock, JP Morgan, El Salvador, everyone else except IMF is still very bullish on Bitcoin, right? Uptober is still here. It's still early. Do not give up. So stay strong, my friends. Smash the like. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys. I don't know what I'm going to do about my crypto cruise tomorrow because I don't have a new car. I'm not going to get one for a while. I may drive my Tesla or something. Yeah, crypto cruise coming out tomorrow. Sunday walk on Sunday. And then I'll see you guys on Monday. All right. Have a good one. Take care.